Hey guys, welcome back to Three Terrible Gamers podcast. I'm Ashton here with Colin. This is episode 64.
Hey guys.
All right, we have one topic left over from last week and a bunch to go over this week. So we'll go ahead and jump into it. Leaked Lego game.
Yeah, Lego 2K is at it again. But it's called Lego 2K Goal. So it's basically a soccer version of the new Lego 2K. The Lego 2K game, it just came out, it was like a racing game or whatever. So for me, it just seems like a ripoff of Rocket League.
Yeah,
Obviously, Epic owns it now, but I can't remember who owned it before Epic. But so it just seems like that. So I think it's like 2K's version to like take over like how Rocket League was the same way they done with NBA Live on the EA side.
right. Okay. That makes sense. Um, so yeah, that's what I kind of thought when I seen it was basically a Lego, like Rocket League. But yes, it says Lego video game enthusiasts are excited about a potential new title called Lego 2K Goal or Goal. Has long like a bunch of O's. But
Yeah.
which was leaked on the Australian PlayStation Store. A recent leak has stirred excitement among LEGO video game enthusiasts as details about a new title from 2K Games appear to have surfaced ahead of an official announcement. So yeah, basically Rocket League, but in LEGO form. I mean, that's basically what I'm getting out of it. I mean, they've come out with some good games lately, I guess. LEGO has, which some of their other ones have been good too, but they're partnering with 2K, and so they released one just a couple months ago.
Yeah, it was I think it was actually just called Lego 2K. And
Yeah,
it was, like I said, it just a game.
yeah. All right. So that's the one from last week. We'll go ahead and jump into this week's already. Super Mario RPG actually released today, November 17th. They're recording, and we have the rating for that.
Yeah, I kind of figured we get this one a little bit quicker because it's a remake,
Yeah.
remaster, whatever it is. Uh, So the original one didn't ever get a rating. So this one was an 83 on Meta, 8 out of 10 on IGN. There was no original score posted on Metacritic, and Nintendo Life Active didn't have anything up yet. But I'm assuming it's going to
Surprising.
be a 10 out of 10, as usual, Nintendo game.
From yeah, the Nintendo Life, probably 10 out of 10. Yeah, I mean, like you said, there's not one for the original game because that was before they started doing ratings on Metacritic, and it was 1996, I believe. Super Nintendo game
Hmm.
released the year of the Nintendo 64. But anyway, yeah, an 83 on Metacritic, generally favorable out of 80 critic reviews. Um, the user score is not available yet because they won't let you rate it until tomorrow. They want you to take the time to play the game. But I have played it, so I will rate it. And I'm not an RPG fan, so people are probably going to hate me because people love this game. They have since 1996. But I knew I probably wouldn't enjoy it going into the game, but I figured I would try it, just because it's a Mario game, and people love it. So I thought maybe, I'm just being hard on it because it's an RPG. I played it for about an hour, which really isn't fair to give the game a rating after an hour, but I just could not go anymore. I was not enjoying myself. Uh, Maybe, 6 out of 10, if that, that's being generous, honestly. 60%, 55 maybe. I just didn't enjoy it that much. It is an RPG. I'd rather play Paper Mario, honestly, than that game. But anyway, either way, they're RPGs, and I don't enjoy them that much. The thing is with that game is there's no like voice at all. Like usually when you're playing Mario game, of course they don't talk all that much, but you hear Mario like when he jumps, like he makes a sound, or when he, there's some vocal in there sometimes, but there's nothing in this game. No vocals at all while you're moving around the overworld. When you're in a fight, yeah, maybe he'll make a sound when he jumps, but it's just too quiet. Like there's background music and stuff, but it's just too quiet for me. I, that's another thing I didn't like about it, besides just the gameplay in general.
See, on the original, was it released before or after N64 Mario 64?
Uh, I'm not sure. I know they were both released in '96, but one was Super Nintendo, one was Nintendo 64. I
I'm
would
just
say
saying.
probably this was released before, if I had to guess.
Yeah, because we know Charles Martinet was on Mario 64, so this one would have had to release first to not have any voice animations for the character.
Right, but I mean, they had some for the Super Nintendo before with like Super Mario World. He made noises that then too. It wasn't Charles Martinet,
Yeah.
but it's just, I mean, it's a Nintendo game, but it was developed by Square Enix. So similar to like
Mm.
the Oracle games, they and Minish Cap, like they were published by Nintendo but developed by Capcom. So they're Nintendo games but developed by other studios. Um,
Square Enix is the one that does Final Fantasy, right?
yeah, I mean they have good games. I mean Square Enix is a great studio. But I mean, and this is a good game. Like people love it. Just me personally, it's not for me. I mean, I don't like RPGs. It's quiet to me, too quiet to get into. But yeah, nothing against Square Enix. They're a good studio. It's just this game isn't for me. But yeah, it was developed by Square Enix. So yeah, I give it a 5.5, 6 out of 10. 55%, 60%, whatever, however you want to take it. Not for me.
Recommend you guys playing it by yourself before you go leave your own view on it.
Yeah. I mean, I probably should have played it more than an hour. I just couldn't go anymore. I was dreading. I mean, I'm not going to go through a game I'm dreading to go through. If I'm not having fun, there's no point in continuing.
I thought that was Starfield.
I only played Store for probably 2 hours. I mean, it was all right, but I mean, it seems like one of those games you got to put some hours into in order to get somewhere, and I don't have time for that.
Now, that was one of the biggest things. That's what everyone was complaining about on that game, and that's actually like one of the creators of the game was just like, yeah, we kind of regret that decision because they was like, okay, the more we make them explore from the beginning, the more they're going to enjoy the perks of everything at the thing. When they was like, maybe 15 hours was too long to make people wait for some real action.
Yeah, I ain't got time to fool with that.
No.
But yeah, I mean, 83. They like it more than I do, and that's with 80 critic reviews. So, I mean, I'm sure they know more than I do. I mean, most of the time, critics they play through the entire game. Not just an hour like I did. Some of them probably do, but I mean, that's literally their job is to, rate games. So, they're just probably more accurate. Don't listen to me. That's just my opinion. Listen to them. 83. Play the game. I mean, you guys have. I mean, the older audiences, you've played it before. If you like it. It's the same game with better graphics, basically. So
Their
don't.
job is to rate it, and our job is to tell you our opinions on it and the facts behind the ratings.
That's right. Yeah. Don't let me persuade you not to buy it. Just so you know. All right, moving on. Persona 5 Tactica rating.
Yeah, which not realizing until I was doing the deep dive into this thing, I didn't realize that there was technically like 6 Persona 5 games, all with different names and everything. So I
Yeah,
done a
it's a little
couple.
weird, isn't it?
Yeah, I wasn't going to hop through and do all of them, but I done Persona 5 Tactica, obviously, because that's the game we're rating. That's the new one in the Persona 5 series. It's a 76 on Metacritic. Persona 5 itself was a 93, and the Royal Persona 5 Royal whatever guard, whatever, something weird like that, is the highest one, and it is a 95 on Metacritic.
Wow.
So, I mean, obviously they're a good series of games. Tactica obviously fell way short. I think it was one of the lower ones. Like out of the 6 of them, I think it was like next to last from the lowest rated one. So yeah, that's your little deep dive on Persona. So now you know there's like 6 Persona 5s.
Yeah, it makes no sense. Maybe it's time to move on, Sega. But yeah, so Persona 5 Tactica 76 on Metacritic. That's with 23 critic reviews, generally favorable. Not a bad rating. Not every game's going to get 80 or 90. Once again, user score is not available until tomorrow. Time recording. They want you to play the game, because it was released today. Time recording. So, I didn't try this one out like I did Super Mario RPG, so I really couldn't tell you. I've actually never played a Persona game, like I said in the last episode. But I didn't know there was like 6 Persona 5s either, so that kind of makes no sense. But yeah, Sega, maybe try to move on forward to another Persona game, not instead of being stuck on 5. But yeah, 76 on Metacritic for the PS5 version.
Yeah, it's like I said, having 6 games underneath the same title umbrella makes absolutely no sense, especially given them all separate Metacritic scores.
Yeah.
But Sega's try to get money out where they can because it's pretty much the only game that's staying afloat other than a Sonic title.
Yeah. Yeah, Sonic, I mean, for sure keeping them in business, but I mean, they have other first-party titles they could bring out if they wanted to, but they just want to play it safe and develop Sonic games, pretty much, and Persona.
I promise you there will be a topic about this for next week as well because I'm not even going to tell you. You can come back and listen to us next week.
Yeah.
I've already got it written down since Ashton sent me all these topics beforehand.
Right.
So I went ahead and done a little bit deeper next week.
If you're listening to us live, when we go live tomorrow, you can listen to it early. That's the perk of listening to us live. But if you're not listening to us live, you're not going to know to listen to us live tomorrow. So that's your fault.
Yeah, we're recording this. We're recording 2 episodes 2 days in a row because we're taking an off week next week, but we still wanted to give you guys content.
Yeah. Yep. Next week's Thanksgiving, so we'll have the week off, but we will do double this week. Work extra hard for you guys, so you'll still have an episode the following week. But anyway, moving on. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 rating.
Yeah, terrible. Legitimately bad. For a Call of Duty game, it is the lowest ever recorded at a 55 on Metacritic. The original, for circumstance, of course, obviously does not follow in the same storyline or whatever. But yet again, they like to name their series at this point, so I'm going to call ones the original, even though they're technically different ones and not remakes.
Right.
On normal consoles was an 88. That reason why I said normal consoles is because the second lowest on Metacritic was the same MW3, the original one, and it was a 57 on the DS for obvious reasons.
On the DS. I was going to say, that was a good game. What are you talking about? On the DS, okay.
So yeah, that's the closest one to it out of 57, and that's just because it was on the DS. Because that's why I separated normal consoles from all consoles, because it was not an 88 on all consoles.
Yeah, that makes sense.
This one is...
So the original Modern Warfare 3, you mean, was an 88?
Yeah, it was an 88.
The 2011 Modern Warfare 3, okay.
Yeah, 2011 one was an 88 on the Wii, on the Xbox 360, and PlayStation 3.
Okay.
It was an 88 on consoles, and then the DS was the only ever console released one, and it was a 57. So to say that your closest thing that you are to as a main console line game is comparing to the DS, which is still 2 points higher than you, says how bad
you suck. That is sad. I've never played it on the DS, Modern Warfare 3, but I can't remember who in school had it. I seen somebody play it in middle school. I don't remember who it was, but it did look pretty rough. But yeah, if a DS game Call of Duty game scores higher than this, Activision, you're doing something wrong. I mean, come on. But so yeah, this is the PS5 version released November 10th, 2023. It is a 55 on Metacritic, like Colin said. That's with 56 critic reviews. Their user score is even worse, 1.7 out of 10. And that is with 1,137 user ratings. People aren't liking this game.
Granted, take that with a grain of salt because especially if you listened to us last week, if not, go back and listen to it. We covered about people were review bombing that game on purpose. So that's the reason why there's such a big difference in between the meta and user scores is because metas actually do it for a living, and then user scores are just
People
your
hating
mind
on it.
opinion. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but legitimately, it is a bad game since Metacritics are giving it a 55, which is still lower than a DS title.
Right. And even with people review bombing it, if it was good, they wouldn't do that as much. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, being made in just 16 months, I mean, what do you expect? It started out as DLC. It should have stayed DLC for Modern Warfare 2. Take a year off. But, I mean, hopefully with Microsoft and Xbox taking over Activision, Blizzard, they'll do that 3-year cycle like they're wanting to. That way they can take some time, develop the game, get a better story, just get better gameplay. And maybe they'll take a look back at what made them good, what made them famous, and look back at some of the older titles and not copy them like their exact name, but like just go back to when they were good. You didn't have the menus that were so confusing and had ads on them to go buy their stuff. Like there was an item shop in some of the older Call of Duties, but they're on a separate tab. They're not on, you have to go through the items to buy in order to play the game.
Yeah, I understand Advanced Warfare was kind of a drop for them, especially since it was a Sledgehammer title. They could even win and done an Advanced Warfare 2 and drop the exosuits.
Yeah. I mean, something. I mean, obviously they're running out of ideas because they're coming out with a Call of Duty every single year. Like I said, hopefully the 3-year cycle will change that. They'll be able to get more ideas, more time to develop the game. It'll be more polished and just be better in general.
I mean, all our competitors have already figured that out. Halo figured that out. Destiny figured that out. It's...
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing else to really say. I mean, people are saying the campaign's way too short. It's not even that good. And the multiplayer is bad too. I mean, the only good part about the multiplayer is it has every single map from the Modern Warfare 2 game in 2009. That's it. I mean, there's a lot of good maps in that game. That's the only plus side people are saying about this game is the good maps. And they're even, I mean, reusing maps. I mean, come on. It's okay to reuse some here and there, but every single map.
Oh, no, I'll be satisfied if you give me 24/7 Rust.
Rust is good. Yeah, I like Rust. But,
especially
I mean,
the graphic.
Oh, yeah, yeah. But didn't the 2019 Modern Warfare have Rust back too?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, It's not been that long since it was upgraded graphics-wise. 2 years. 3. No, it was 2019. Holy crap. It's a long time. 4 years.
I mean, technically almost 5, but they released at the end of the year, so it is 4 years from pretty much today.
Yeah. I forgot what year it was for a second. Time's flying by. Anyway, yeah, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 sucks. Moving on. The Game Awards nominations have been announced.
Oh, I got mine backwards. Because the way I had mine labeled and how it registered on mine, it was been like a perfect leeway into us saying it sucks, then all of a sudden somehow it gets more hype than what it deserves. But since we're skipping it right now, since mine decided to go backwards, Game Award nominations. There was, I believe, 31 total different entries you could vote on, so I did not cover all 31. I done the Game of the Year one, and I stayed at that because
Yeah, that's
31
mainly what I was
literally
talking about.
been the whole podcast.
Yeah,
But for most of those entries, it was repeat games, anyways. Uh, so for Game of the Year announcements, which I believe you got till December 7th to go vote on these,
I think so.
and you just got to sign in with an email, then you can do your thing. I voted on all 31 categories. Some games I hadn't heard of, but I voted anyway just because I could. So for Game of the Year candidates is Alan Wake 2. Hadn't heard anything about it until, which I think I noticed the pattern. Like all the ones I hadn't heard on were PlayStation 5 and PC games, which obviously Spider-Man is a given. So Spider-Man always gets hyped. But Alan Wake 2, I don't ever remember seeing much stuff about it. But for Game of the Year award, it got an 87 on Metacritic. Baldur's Gate 3, which is also another PS5 PC game, it was a
That
96 on Metacritic.
it has nudity. People like it.
This makes sense. I hadn't, yet again, I hadn't heard of it. First I heard of it was that new South Park special on Paramount. And that's the only reason why I know about it, because they talked about the game on that episode or
nice.
special, whatever. So that's the only reason why I knew about that game. But obviously, it's a good game, or just because people like titties, one or the other.
I mean,
so can't really blame them on that one. But
right.
staying appropriate here, Spider-Man 2 is a 90 on Metacritic. That's another runner for Game of the Year. Resident Evil 4, the remake of it, is a 93, which I believe the original one was like a 94, 95 on Metacritic. So, I mean, it's still a good game to today. It still surprised me that they remade it since it was the GameCube game. Didn't really need remade yet, but they did.
Yeah.
And it's Game of the Year award. And I believe it was up for a Game of the Year back when it came out, too, because I believe that's when they first started doing that stuff. Like, it was the early years
Around
of it.
that time.
And then Mario Wonder, obviously it just released. It's already up for the topic, which figured out because it would sell a lot of copies right out the gate. It was a 92 on Metacritic. We've covered that recently.
Yep.
Probably last week or the week before last. And then Tears of the Kingdom is the final game to vote on, and it was a 96 on Metacritic as well. So I'm guessing your vote will go towards either which one you played or off the Metacritic score. So at that point, it'll be between Baldur's Gate and Tears of the Kingdom. So I want to ask you, which one do you think is going to win Game of the Year?
Tears of the Kingdom.
Tears of the Kingdom, you think it'll beat up Baldur's Gate?
Oh, yeah. Tears of the Kingdom beats titties anytime. That's not the only reason Baldur's Gate 3 is good, but people do like that aspect of it. But, yeah, I think Tears of the Kingdom, I already voted. I voted Tears of the Kingdom. Obviously, I haven't played Baldur's Gate 3, and I've heard it's good. It's getting a console release here pretty soon, I've seen online, but right now it's PC exclusive, just for a couple more months, I believe. But, yeah.
The website I've seen it's already out on PS5.
Oh, it may be. Maybe what I was looking at, it was getting an Xbox release here before long. Yeah, it was Xbox. But anyway, yeah, I already voted Tears of the Kingdom. I think it'll win. I mean, Breath of the Wild won Game of the Year back in 2017. And in my opinion, Tears of the Kingdom is better. In a lot of people's opinions, Tears of the Kingdom is better. So, if you're better than a former Game of the Year, it's only right that you get Game of the Year.
Yeah, well, I mean, I get that take out with a grain of salt because Metacritic score-wise, Breath of the Wild is the better game by 1 point.
Yeah. I mean, Breath of the Wild's a good game, yeah, but Tears of the Kingdom's better. I mean, it took what made Breath of the Wild good and just added to it.
Regardless, every game on that list is a Metacritic must play except for Alan Wake 2 and Spider-Man 2. And that's because I think you got to be a 91 or higher to get the must play.
But they're all in the 90s except for Alan Wake 2, right?
Yeah, they're all in the 90s. Spider-Man 2 is the 91, and then yeah, and all the rest of them after that I named off were higher than 90.
Yep. So which one do you think is going to win?
like I said, I got to base it off Metacritic, and I mean, obviously, the top two are both tied, and I believe I say there's more. No, I'm not even. That's not even close to say. Don't be an idiot, Colin. Because obviously there's a lot more PCs than what there are Switches, but how many people actually use their PC to game is the thing. How many gaming PCs are there comparing to Switches out there? So I
Well,
believe the Switch is sold
who do
probably
you
more Nintendo people.
think has sold more copies?
I believe Tears of the Kingdom has
Yeah,
sold more
I
copies.
would say so. A lot more. Because the only thing I've heard about Baldur's Gate 3 is it's a good game. You heard that Tears of the Kingdom's a good game, and it just crushed records when it came out on sales. So, I
Yeah,
mean, I'd say there's more copies of Tears of the Kingdom out there. But
which we covered on early episodes of podcast.
yeah, back in May or June. Yeah, so I mean, my opinion is Tears of the Kingdom. I've already voted. So you can go vote at thegameawards.com. I mean, vote Tears of the Kingdom. I mean, if you want, you don't have to, but that's just my opinion.
Listen here, Nintendo.
Yeah,
And plus, it's weird that I mean, it's good that Nintendo has two games in the making
that just
on the
shows how good
game of the year.
Nintendo is at. I mean, obviously we've known for a long time they're good at making games, but they're still good at making games. I mean, newsflash alert, they're still good at making games. But yeah. Moving on, we got time for probably one more. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 was just talking about how bad it sucks, but yet it still tops the UK sales chart.
Yeah, which means that Mario, well, their sales chart is weird because I don't guess it technically goes by off record-breaking sales for the most part. It works more like a box office over here in the United States with like movies. So this week, Modern Warfare 3 beat everybody else. It pushed
Yeah.
Mario under to number 3, which I believe the past 3 weeks it was number 1
Which, I
or
mean,
2.
always a game just coming out is going to sell more. I mean, even though it sucks, it's still a Call of Duty game. Some people don't even look online to see if it sucks or not. They just see a new game on the shelf, Call of Duty game, and say like, "Oh, new Call of Duty must be good. I'm gonna pick it up." So
Not the pre-orders too. How many people pre-ordered right
right,
out the gate?
yeah,
It's counted as soon as the game releases.
yep,
Uh, so you got all the people pre-ordered and everything else. It pushed Wonder to number 3. Uh, I believe Football Manager, Football Coach 2024, which is a different game for Football Manager, which we talked about last week on the Games with Gold. It's
Game
number
Pass.
2 in the UK. Number 3 is Wonder. Number 4 is the Football Manager 2024, and I can't remember what number 5 was. Top 4. So, like I said, over there, it seems like it works more like the box office for movies is what it does here.
Yeah, they do things a little different over there. But I mean, it still shows, regardless, that it is selling, even though
Yeah.
it sucks. But so yeah, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 is the worst received game in this series in a very long time, maybe ever. But that hasn't stopped it debuting at number 1 in the UK's physical charts. So that's just physical, not digital. It may be a below par Call of Duty, but it's still a Call of Duty, a name that's too big to fail. It sold the vast majority of its box copies on PS5, knocking almost everything down the top 10. Like you said, it did knock Mario Wonder down. I mean, it's still in the top 10, but it did knock, some of the top 10 down than what it was. I mean, it's like this article just said, it's still a Call of Duty game. It's still going to sell whether it sucks or not. I mean, that's just how it is. And it's just like a Pokemon game. You may know it sucks, but you're still going to buy it just to try it out. That's just how these series work. The long time series, long running series. Some people buy them just to have the whole collection, even though they know it sucks. They're going to buy them. They're going to sell, no matter what. And that's why really nothing's ever going to change until something happens, like people just stop buying them, or something happens like Microsoft buys Activision and they make them take their time. That's the only thing that's ever going to make these companies change.
Yeah.
But that's all the time we got, guys. And you can always watch us live on Twitch and YouTube, and make sure to follow us on those two. And join our Discord server. Come chat with us. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Buy merch on Redbubble. Anything else, Colin?
Yeah, I was hoping we can extend a little bit just because there's one topic that you can cover that I won't be able to cover because it will be no longer be relevant, but it'll help them out if they decide to go holiday shopping this week.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because we'll release it. Okay. Do the Xbox Black Friday sales then.
Yeah. Which, I mean, like I said, I'm just doing this that way you guys can go out and buy some Xbox games if you want to, since I think this is the last Black Friday thing we cover, since we pretty much covered the rest of them. But
Yeah.
like I said, it does note if I do this for next week and, take over everything. So I'm trying to give you guys the best deal possible. That way you can still get these games for up to half off.
Yep.
Granted, there was a crap ton, so I only done one page, which is still like 16 games because there was 53 pages of games for sale.
Yeah, I didn't do all of them.
I've done the whole first page. The first one is Cyberpunk 2077 and Phantom Liberty bundle, so I'm guessing that's the DLC tied in with it. It's $80 together. It's normally, and it's dropped down to $63.99. After Us, it's normally $30. It's down to $15. The concept art kind of looks like a Starfield game. Sword Art Online Last Recollection Deluxe Edition is normally $85. I guess because it's a deluxe, and it's $60 right now. Dead Island 2 is deluxe edition is $75 normally, and it is $45 now. My Heroes One Justice 2, can't have any more confusing game name. Ultimate Edition is normally $80, and it is $20 right now. Nice. So if you want to try that weird name sounding thing for cheap, be a good time to get it this week. Hogwarts Legacy on Series X and S versions are normally $70, so I guess they got a bump up in price, and it's $42 for Black Friday week. Lords of the Fallen is normally $70, and it got bumped down to $48.99. Call of Duty Black Ops 2 for the Xbox 360 version, obviously.
Yeah.
Is normally priced in the Xbox store for $50 still, and it is down to $15 right now if you don't have Black Ops 2 from 2012. UFC 5 is normally $70. It's got knocked down to $49. The Crew Motorfest is normally $70. It got knocked down to $42. Assassin's Creed Valhalla is normally $60. It got knocked down to $15. Madden 24, which this looks like they got a cover of Michael Vick on this one, so I'm guessing it's not I'm guessing they used to do like the thing like 2K does, like they'll do a previous player on like the higher up scales or whatever. But so Madden 24 with the Michael Vick cover is normally $70, and it's down to $35 this week. Assassin's Creed Mirage, which we've been saying this was a mobile game, but it turns out it is a console game. I know the past few episodes we've called it a mobile game, but
Yeah.
it's not. It's an actual console game.
Hmm.
It's normally $50, and it's down to 40 right now. Diablo 4 Digital Deluxe Edition is normally $90. It's down to $53.99. This one is a different combo for sure, but it's the two newest Forza series. They got Forza Motorsport and Forza Horizon 5 with the
Oh,
Hot Wheels edition.
in a bundle.
Is
Yeah.
in bundle is normally $200, and it's down to $119 for 2 games. So you don't really get that big of a deal for it. I mean, you get obviously the DLC and everything with it, so yeah, I guess it's worth it at that
Get
point.
$80 off.
Then Payday Free is normally $40, and it's down to $32. Starfield itself is $70 now, and it's down to $56. EA Sports, the Football Coach 24, which we were just talking about on the last topic, is normally $70. That's down to $34.99. 2K24, the Kobe Bryant edition, it was like the number 8 Kobe, is for the Xbox Series X and S, is normally $70, and it's down to $35 right now. Mortal Kombat 1, so it's $70. It's down to $48.99 right now. So yeah, those are the whole entire first page ones that I had.
Okay. Yeah, and those are the exact ones I had, so I can't add anything there. My favorites out of that one, if I had to pick, would be I'd pick up Mortal Kombat 1 just to try it. It's usually $70, $49, pretty good discount, 30% off. Obviously Starfield, if you guys haven't tried it, it's 20% off. And it just released a couple months ago, so that's a pretty good deal on a new game.
And that's if you got Pass. I mean,
Yeah,
most of these games are Game Pass if you do have Game Pass.
yeah, most of them are. So yeah,
But if you don't have for the game to keep them forever, there's your go-to.
Yeah, yep. So yeah, that's all we got, guys. And I've already said the ending stuff, so I'm not gonna say it again. And do you have anything to add?
No, you said it all earlier.
All
I
right.
just added quick.
Yeah, that makes sense. I didn't even think about that, or I'd have had it earlier in the episode. But yeah, they got it anyway. But we'll catch you guys in the next episode.
Later, guys.